In 2020, in a quiet American town, a man thought he had created the perfect life. 4 women loved him. 4 women trusted him. And none of them knew the others even existed. For years, he played the same dangerous game: promises, lies, and money. He believed he was the smartest person in the room. But he never imagined one small suspicion would bring all 4 women together. And when the truth finally came out, everything he spent years building was destroyed in a single day. The beginning. It all started with the first girl. Her name was Emily Parker. Emily met Daniel Carter in 2017 at a small cafe near her office in Chicago. Daniel was confident, charming, and knew exactly how to make someone feel important. Within a few weeks, they started dating. Daniel always made big promises. He talked about the future, about building a life together, about dreams and plans. Emily believed every word. Months passed, and their relationship grew stronger. Soon Daniel even talked about marriage. Emily felt lucky. But while Emily believed she had found the right man, Daniel had already started another story. About 8 months later, Daniel met Sophia Miller at a birthday party. Sophia was successful and independent. She owned a small online business and had a strong personality. Daniel introduced himself as a single man. Sophia had no reason to doubt him. Their conversations started slowly, but soon they became closer. The same compliments. The same sweet promises. The same fake future. Within a few months, Sophia also believed Daniel truly loved her. Now Daniel had 2 relationships at the same time. Emily and Sophia. And neither of them had any idea the other existed. A year later, Daniel met Rachel Adams during a business conference. Rachel was kind, hardworking, and very trusting. Daniel again told the same story. He said he had been hurt in the past and was looking for someone who truly understood him. Rachel felt sympathy for him. Soon she started caring about him deeply. What Rachel didn't know was something very important. Sophia was actually her cousin. But they lived in different cities and rarely talked about their relationships. Daniel knew this after some time. And he used that information carefully. Now Daniel had 3 women in his life: Emily, Sophia, Rachel. And somehow he kept them all completely separate. In early 2020, Daniel met Lily Thompson. Lily was cheerful, friendly, and always ready to help people. Daniel started the same pattern again. Long conversations, late night calls, sweet promises. Within months, Lily also believed Daniel was serious about her. But Daniel didn't know one important detail. Lily was actually Rachel's best friend. If Rachel and Lily ever talked about Daniel, everything could collapse instantly. But Daniel believed he was careful enough. For a long time, everything continued smoothly. 4 relationships. 4 different stories. 4 different lives. And Daniel was controlling all of them. But lies never stay hidden forever. One evening, Emily was returning home after work. As she walked past a busy restaurant, something suddenly caught her attention. She froze. Inside the restaurant, sitting near the window, was Daniel. But he wasn't alone. Across the table from him sat another woman. They were laughing, talking closely, and Daniel was holding her hand. Emily's heart started racing. For a moment she tried to convince herself there must be some explanation. Maybe it was a colleague. Maybe it was business. But then she saw something that made her stomach drop. Daniel leaned forward and kissed the woman. Emily slowly stepped back, trying not to be seen. Her mind was full of questions. Who was that woman? Was Daniel cheating? Or was there something even worse going on? Instead of confronting him immediately, Emily decided to stay calm. She quietly took out her phone and took a picture. Then she waited outside the restaurant. About 20 minutes later, Daniel and the woman walked out together. Emily stayed hidden as they walked toward the parking lot. She watched as Daniel hugged the woman and said goodbye. Then he drove away. Emily followed him. But that night she didn't confront him. Instead, she started something much more dangerous. She decided to find out the truth first. And within the next few days, Emily would discover that the woman from the restaurant was only one of 3 others. But what shocked her even more was what she discovered next. Because when Emily finally tracked down that woman, she learned something unexpected. That woman already believed she was Daniel's only girlfriend. And that was the moment Emily realized Daniel wasn't just cheating, he was living 4 different lives. And Emily had just started uncovering the first one. That night, Emily barely slept. The picture she had taken outside the restaurant stayed on her phone screen for a long time. Daniel sitting across from another woman, smiling the same way he smiled with her. But Emily didn't confront him. Not yet. Instead, she wanted proof. Real proof. The next morning Daniel left for work as usual. He kissed Emily on the forehead and told her he had a long meeting day. Emily forced a smile. But the moment he left, she opened her laptop and began searching. The photo she had taken showed the woman's face clearly. Emily posted the picture in a private social media search and began looking through profiles. It took hours. But finally, she found her. Sophia Miller. Emily opened Sophia's profile. What she saw made her heart sink. Dozens of photos, trips, restaurants, smiling pictures with Daniel. But the captions were what shocked her the most. Best weekend with my love. Proud of the man I'm building a future with. 3 years together and still going strong. Emily stared at the screen in disbelief. 3 years. That meant Daniel had been lying almost from the beginning. Emily took a deep breath. Instead of sending an angry message, she decided to do something smarter. She sent Sophia a simple message. Hi, I think we need to talk about someone named Daniel Carter. The first meeting. At first Sophia thought the message was a joke. But when Emily sent the photo she had taken outside the restaurant, Sophia stopped replying for almost 10 minutes. Then one message appeared. Where can we meet? That evening they met in a small cafe. The moment Sophia sat down, Emily could see the confusion and anger in her eyes. Emily slowly placed her phone on the table and showed her the pictures. Then she explained everything. Her relationship with Daniel. Their plans for marriage. Their years together. Sophia's face slowly turned pale. Then she opened her own phone. And showed Emily something that shocked her even more. Pictures of Daniel and Sophia together. Trips. Dinner dates. Anniversary celebrations. Sophia looked at Emily and said quietly. He told me I was the only woman in his life. For a moment both women just sat there in silence. 2 strangers. Connected by the same lie. But then something even more shocking happened. Sophia said something that changed everything. Emily, there might be someone else too. Emily looked up. What do you mean? Sophia hesitated for a moment. Then she said a name. Rachel. She's my cousin. A few months ago she told me she was dating someone named Daniel. Emily's eyes widened. The room suddenly felt smaller. If what Sophia was saying was true, then Daniel wasn't cheating with just one woman. He was cheating with many. Emily slowly leaned back in her chair. At that moment both women realized the same thing. Daniel had built a web of lies far bigger than they had imagined. And if they wanted the full truth, they needed to find Rachel. But what neither of them knew yet was that Rachel was not the last piece of the puzzle. Because once Rachel entered the story, another name would appear. Lily. And when all 4 women finally discovered the truth, Daniel Carter's life would never be the same again. After their meeting in the cafe, Emily and Sophia sat quietly in the car for a few minutes. Both of them were still trying to process what had just happened. For years they had believed they were in a real relationship with Daniel. Now they were sitting together like strangers, realizing they had both been living inside the same lie. Finally Emily broke the silence. Call Rachel. Sophia hesitated. Rachel was her cousin. They had grown up together, shared family gatherings, birthdays, holidays. The thought that Rachel might also be involved with Daniel made her feel sick. But they needed the truth. Sophia slowly picked up her phone and called Rachel. At first Rachel answered normally. But when Sophia asked one simple question, everything changed. Rachel, are you still dating someone named Daniel? There was a pause. Then Rachel replied happily. Yes, why? Sophia looked at Emily. Emily nodded. Sophia took a deep breath and said quietly. Rachel, I need you to meet us. Right now. The shocking meeting. That night the 3 women met in the same cafe. Rachel arrived smiling, expecting a normal conversation. But the moment she saw Emily sitting with Sophia, something felt strange. Who is she? Rachel asked. Sophia didn't answer immediately. Instead Emily slowly placed her phone on the table and showed Rachel the photo. Daniel sitting in the restaurant with Sophia. Rachel stared at the screen. Her smile disappeared. Then Emily explained everything. Her relationship with Daniel. Their engagement plans. Sophia's 3-year relationship. Rachel listened silently. At first she didn't believe it. But when Sophia showed her their photos together, Rachel's hands started shaking. Daniel had told her the same story. That he loved her. That he wanted a future with her. That she was the only one who understood him. Rachel leaned back in her chair, completely shocked. For a few minutes none of them spoke. Then Rachel said something that made the situation even more unbelievable. There's someone else. Emily and Sophia looked at her immediately. Rachel continued slowly. My best friend, Lily. Both women stared at her. Rachel swallowed and said, "A few months ago Lily told me she started dating a guy named Daniel. I thought it was just coincidence." The table fell silent. Now the truth was clear. Daniel hadn't lied to 2 women. He hadn't lied to 3. He had lied to 4. When the puzzle was complete. The next evening, Rachel called Lily and asked her to meet. Lily arrived happily, thinking it was just a casual meeting with friends. But when she saw 3 serious faces waiting for her, she immediately felt something was wrong. Then Emily showed her the same photo. And slowly, piece by piece, the truth came out. At first Lily refused to believe it. But the proof was too strong. Photos, messages, dates. Every story Daniel told them was the same. The same promises. The same lies. The same future he had promised to all 4 of them. Lily's eyes filled with tears. But something unexpected happened next. Instead of arguing with each other, the 4 women slowly started understanding something important. They were not enemies. They were victims of the same man. And that realization changed everything. Emily looked at the others and said quietly, "He thinks we'll never find out about each other." Sophia nodded slowly. Rachel clenched her fists. Lily wiped her tears. Then Emily said something that would change Daniel's life forever. "We should not just confront him." She paused. "We should expose him." For the first time, the 4 women looked at each other with the same idea in their minds. Daniel had spent years building his lies. But now, 4 women knew the truth. And together, they were about to create a plan that would destroy everything he had built. After Lily finally understood the truth, the 4 women sat together for a long time. The anger in the room was real. Each of them had trusted Daniel. Each of them had believed his promises. And each of them had been living inside the same lie. At first, Lily wanted to confront him immediately. "I'm going to call him right now," she said angrily. But Emily stopped her. "No," Emily said calmly. "If we confront him now, he'll just deny everything." Sophia nodded. "He'll lie again. That's what he does." Rachel looked at the others and asked quietly, "So what do we do?" Emily leaned forward. Her voice was calm, but determined. "We make him expose himself." The other 3 looked at her. Emily had already started thinking like a strategist. "If we all confront him together right now, he'll panic and disappear. But if we play along, we can collect proof." Sophia slowly smiled. Now the idea was becoming clear. They would pretend nothing had changed. Each woman would continue talking to Daniel normally. But this time, every message, every call, every meeting would be recorded. Every lie would be saved. Collecting the evidence. For the next few weeks, the 4 women followed the plan carefully. Daniel had no idea anything had changed. He continued living his normal life. Talking to Emily about their wedding. Sending sweet messages to Sophia. Complaining about fake problems to Rachel. And asking Lily for emotional support. But this time, every conversation was being saved. Screenshots. Voice recordings. Bank transfers. Emily even discovered something else. Daniel had been asking for money from each of them. Small amounts at first. Then larger amounts. Sophia had helped him with business problems. Rachel had sent money when he claimed he had financial trouble. Lily had paid for several of his emergencies. When they added everything together, the total amount shocked them. Daniel had taken thousands of dollars from them. Now their anger turned into determination. This was no longer just about cheating. It was about lies, manipulation, and fraud. Setting the trap. After gathering enough proof, Emily suggested the final step. "We bring him to one place," she said, "where he can't escape." Sophia asked, how? Emily explained the plan. Each woman would invite Daniel to the same place, but at different times. A private event hall that Emily had access to through her work. Daniel would think he was coming there to meet Emily. But when he arrived, all 4 women would already be waiting. Rachel smiled slightly. For the first time in his life, he'll have nowhere to lie. Lily added quietly, and nowhere to run. The plan was simple, but powerful. Daniel believed he was controlling 4 different lives. Soon, those 4 lives would come together in one room. And the moment he walked through that door, his world would begin to collapse. But what Daniel didn't know was something even worse. The women had invited one more person to that meeting. Someone who could turn the situation from a simple confrontation into something much bigger. And when Daniel finally arrived that night, he would realize too late that the game he had been playing for years was finally over. The night of the plan finally arrived. Emily had arranged everything inside a small private event hall. The lights were dim, and the room was quiet. Sophia, Rachel, and Lily were already there. Each of them felt nervous, but determined. Years of lies were about to end. Emily looked at the others and said quietly, once he walks in, there's no going back. A few minutes later, Emily's phone vibrated. Daniel had sent a message. I'm outside. Emily replied calmly. Come in. The door slowly opened. Daniel walked inside with his usual confident smile. He looked around the empty hall, slightly confused. Emily, he called. Then Emily stepped forward. Daniel smiled. Hey, what's going on? Why did you want to meet here? Before Emily could answer, another voice came from behind him. Maybe because you forgot something. Daniel turned around. Sophia stepped into the light. His smile disappeared. For a second he looked confused. Sophia, what are you doing here? Before he could think properly, another voice spoke. You didn't expect me either, did you? Rachel walked forward. Now Daniel's face turned pale. His eyes moved quickly between them. Wait, what is this? He said nervously. Then the final voice came from the corner of the room. You forgot someone. Lily stepped out. Now all 4 women were standing in front of him. Daniel's mind stopped working. The lies he had carefully controlled for years had suddenly come together in one single moment. Okay, hold on, Daniel said quickly. There's some misunderstanding here. Emily looked at him calmly. No, she said. There isn't. Sophia placed printed screenshots on the table. Messages, photos, bank transfers. Rachel added voice recordings. Lily showed saved conversations. Proof after proof appeared in front of him. Daniel tried to speak. But for the first time in years, he had no story left. No excuse. No lie that could fix this. His voice became weak. Listen, I can explain. Emily interrupted him. You already explained. To all of us. Just with different lies. Daniel looked around the room desperately. 4 women. 4 lives he had manipulated. Now standing together. And for the first time, they were stronger than him. But the worst part for Daniel was still coming. Because suddenly, the door behind him opened again. Daniel turned around. 2 more people walked inside. A lawyer. And a police officer. Emily looked directly into Daniel's eyes and said calmly. You didn't just lie to us. You took money from all of us. And tonight, everything is being reported. Daniel's face turned completely white. The game was finally over. Everything he had built through lies was now collapsing in front of him. And there was nothing he could do to stop it. Within weeks, Daniel's life completely fell apart. The evidence collected by the 4 women was strong. Messages, financial records, voice recordings, all of it showed a clear pattern of manipulation and fraud. Daniel spent months dealing with legal problems and investigations. His reputation was destroyed. Friends distanced themselves. Family arguments began. The life he had carefully built over the years disappeared faster than he ever imagined. But for the 4 women, the story ended differently. Emily, Sophia, Rachel, and Lily had started as strangers connected by betrayal. But in the end, they walked away stronger. They supported each other through the entire process. What Daniel thought would always stay hidden became the reason he lost everything. And the man who once believed he was controlling 4 different lives ended up losing control of his own. All because 4 women finally discovered the truth. and decided to stand together.